EPA will exercise our oversight and our enforcement authority under the law to be sure we are getting the results that the community deserves. And in coordination with the state, we will be here as long as it takes to ensure the health and safety of this community.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.
We are absolutely going to hold Norfolk Southern accountable, and I can promise you that. From the very beginning, EPA personnel have been on site, supporting local and state partners as they've led emergency response efforts. We've had boots on the ground, leading robust air quality testing, including the Advanced Technological Aspect Plane and a mobile analytical laboratory in and around East Palestine. Since the fire went out, EPA air monitoring has not detected any levels of health concern in the community that are attributed to the train derailment. EPA has assisted with the screening of more than 480 homes under the voluntary screening program offered to residents, and no detections of vinyl chloride or hydrogen chloride were identified. And we're continuing to make those screenings available to any resident that wants to have their indoor air tested. For residents who rely on private drinking water wells, EPA has worked together with Ohio EPA and local health agencies to develop a residential reentry plan to ensure that homeowners can get their private wells tested. Until test results are received, the Ohio Department of Health has recommended that residents use bottled water. EPA has also issued a letter to Norfolk Southern outlining actions at the site and how the agency will hold the railroad accountable for cleanup and cost under EPA's circular authority. Let me be clear, EPA will exercise our oversight and our enforcement authority under the law to be sure we are getting the results that the community deserves. And in coordination with the state, we will be here as long as it takes to ensure the health and safety of this community.
Remember that this is the emergency phase. We're getting the contaminated soil and water off the ground and away from you. That is what's happening right now. We are not going anywhere. The remediation phase is next, and it will take as long as it takes. So please, epa.ohio.gov. We're posting all of the sampling results that we get. I have the unenviable position of maybe updating some news for you, Administrator Regan, that we do have the municipal well tests back. That probably happened while you were in transit. And the water, we are not showing any evidence of any contaminants. The governor pushed that news out yesterday. The municipal water wells are safe to drink.
As Norfolk Southern writes checks of $1,000 and $2,000 for residents, I just ask Norfolk Southern to not force people. So far, we think they haven't done that, to force people to give up their legal rights to accept that money. There is no justification ever for that. These are people that are struggling, that some have lost their jobs, at least temporarily. Others have lost a great deal because they're away from home. My job will be to keep listening to people in East Palestine. And Caleb in my office, who lives in Mingo Junction, just one county south of here, will continue to monitor. He will be here regularly. I will be here as often as it takes. And most importantly, I will be watching Norfolk Southern. Watching them and letting them know I'm watching them is important as anything I can do.
Now, Senator Brown and I are going to be working on some other things. Once the National Transportation Safety Board report comes out and we find out what caused this thing, we think that we have good ideas about what caused it. There are a lot of questions about how this could have potentially been prevented and what we can do to make sure that, that nothing like this ever happens to another community, either here in Ohio or across the river in Pennsylvania, anywhere. This kind of thing should not happen.
Here's what I really worry about for this community long term, okay? One is the public health side of this. You want to make sure that people aren't having unpredictable, unnecessary health problems months, years in advance. And I think the proper way to prevent that stuff from happening, treating it when it does happen, is to ensure proper testing, not just over the next few weeks, but over the next few years. That's one focus of mine. The second focus of mine is that we need to make sure that this community is supported through what will be a very tough circumstance, completely aside from the train derailment. If you think about what this means, a lot of people are selling their homes. They want to get out of East Palestine because they're worried about it. But a lot of people, this is their home. They're not going to leave it, and they shouldn't be expected to leave it. How do we make sure that East Palestine, that the schools are well funded, that the community continues to have the resources it needs in light of this disaster? That's an important question over the next couple of years, too.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.